Good evening, everyone. My name is Willie Dennis III. I am the co-director and the co-creator of the Jazz Art Writers South Festival. We call ourselves Jaws Fest. Just a little side note, our festival was named by Carmen Brown, who is and was one of the longest committed DJs here in the city. She was committed very heavily to jazz, and we do and hold this festival in her memory. She named our festival, and we want to always be sure that we appreciate and thank Carmen Brown. So this evening we are having our first session of jazz stories and poetry, and this event is designed to celebrate the long-running history between jazz and poetry. One of the things I find very, very ironic and very, very funny, very important part of our culture. And our Jazz Stories and Poetry event is designed so if you have a poem, we welcome you to come to the stage. If you have a story, you're also welcome to come to the stage. We want to make sure that you know that we are on a college campus, freedom is available, but we did ask if you could keep your content to PG-13 because this is being recorded for posterity, and we would like to share that with as many people as we possibly can. A couple of things for housekeeping notes. Please be sure that you sign in when you come in this evening so we have a complete accounting of who was here tonight. And in the back is catering. We are offering to you free desserts and tea, coffee, water. I think there might be some other stuff back there. But those are things for you to be able to enjoy. So we'll give it just a minute, make sure everybody gets signed in. And I want to make sure to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. There are a couple of notes. If you are soft-spoken, we do ask you to kind of take hold of the mic. I can happily assist you with that. And that way you can be heard very well. I tend to project because I learned how to do that a long time ago. All right, and so we'll give it just a couple of minutes. If you just hold on with me for a moment, we'll get everybody set up and signed in. Well, thank you so much. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I am going to offer myself as the first poet of the evening. I'm happy to do that. The Jaws Fest was birthed by a partnership between I'm going to lose my track, between the University of South Alabama Art Galleries and the Black Ink Coalition, which is my publishing company. We help people to self-publish themselves by giving them the opportunity to create their work and share those works with the rest of the world. And we create events, and this was one of those events that led to good things happening. So in this time that we've been having this publishing company, I've had the pleasure of publishing the 20th anthology of Spoken Word of Mobile. And in that collection are 27 local authors, all poets here in the city of Mobile. And Spoken Word of Mobile meets on a regular basis. They meet the third Monday of every month at the Mobile branch of Mobile Public Library. So these are people that are active in our community, still writing poetry, still doing their thing. And I want to read from a poet tonight. His name is James L. Williams. And if you could please be sure to sign in on your way in. And I'm going to share with you one of his poems from the 20th anniversary anthology from Spoken Word. This poem is called There Is a Day. There is a day that's set aside to honor those with endless thrives. There are those who give their best, and in return, they are blessed. There will be a time of pain, but Mother will say, sunshine comes after the rain. There may be one you sacrifice for, exposing your heart to the core. There's a friend who never sleeps. He checks Mother's every heartbeat. There's always a way that he can tell, so a mother's love will never fail. There's a world unsodden as can be, and there are mothers in the image of thee. James L. Williams. Thank you so much. Now, since we are on the campus, I do like to start with student voices first. So if we have any students that would like to come up and do a poem first, I'd like to go ahead and start with those voices. We'll hold this as open mic tonight, so whoever might be first, feel free to come on up.
Who's gonna watch the camera? I can watch the camera. You want me to switch camera? Okay, so I actually have a really long poem. It's on my phone, but I don't have my phone. So I'm just going to do a short, cheesy one. Roses are red, violets are blue. I like jazz, and so should you.
Very, very good. And I forgot to mention this, if you're a student, please always be sure to say your name, what your major is, and what your poem is. So thank you for that, Saren. Saren is on our Jaws Fest team this year. She's working with Paula Webb, so thank you so much for all your contributions, Saren. All right, are there any other student voices that would like to come to the table and come and share a wonderful poem? All right, so with that, we'll move on ahead. I'll go ahead and ask my friend, Brother Junior, to come on up. All right, let's welcome him.
Good evening, everyone. How you guys doing? Outstanding.
Jim, if we'll come, please, just pinch the clip and you can hold the mic.
There you go. All right, my name is Junior Winston. I'm part of Black on Black Rhymes of Mobile, Alabama. I'm from Youngstown, Ohio. We meet every second Saturday at the Halls Mills Road Mobile Hub Nutrition. Good friend, I've met Willie since I've been in Alabama, I believe, since I've been doing poetry for almost 7 years now. And I love every event he throws. So if I can be here, I make sure that if I'm in town, I make sure I come follow the young fella. All right, this one here I wrote, and I've just thought about it. Most of my poems don't have no titles, so I just write whatever the Most High presents me with it when he gives me a challenge to say, here, write this down. And I said, okay, let me write this down. All right. Simon says, a day of sorrow, mathematics most deaf, longer than a month of joy, no doubt. Teen Thomas, remember every time you move your lips, you let your mind walk on out. Of order when arguing with any ignorant person, make sure they're not doing the same thing. While jealousy is nourished by not knowing self, only them braves knows how to forgive. And forget not our ancestors nor seeking revenge, just redemption, a trafficker information of what happened to those indigenous folks made here in America, how they forgot their great ancient civilization. Why in time our people who will last must understand their past, for it's you who must shape the future. Our narrative, present, give and receive, stay on the bending knee, grow, please do what you have to do you all day. Some say they fashioned this country's legacies upon stolen memories. The worst thing of not knowing your ancestral's reset, every time it repeats itself, the price for your soul goes up, you see. Yesterday's a cash check and cannot be negotiated. Not worry about what's online for tomorrow. Is a promissory note and cannot be utilized today. It's cash in hand, so why not borrow? From these resurrected, sun-kissed living souls, weaving copper-colored words to clothe this ghetto society. Forgiveness is the glue that repairs broken families' relationships. Come on now, skin folks, follow me. To heaven, because everyone wants to go, however you already know, no one is truly, really ready to die. Notorious on self-improvement, fellas talking about a Kush movement, earth, wind, and fire, keep your head to the sky. Solar energy, chlorophyll, melanin, MC breed, ain't no future in your front. Man, I love when the sunshine pulls some of the beautiful things out of my mouth, because I got lungs just like an Indian. Come in peace, self-thinking, probably the most difficult thing there is. That's why so few all gauge up in it. The last judgment takes place almost every day. Shalt I tell you more holyhood secrets? Let not your tongue cut your throat. Yes, speaking and lying, they are first cousins. While to be conscious you've been tricked, to be schooled in Englishmen is a great step towards self-knowledge. It's not what you cannot forget, Marcus Garvey, but what you cannot remember. Step to a new ideal. Simon says, open your mind and let God's third eye ignite your spine, whatever your spiritual soul needs feel. Thank you.
Thank Thank you so much, Junior.
Thank you, Junior.
He's just fantastic.
Learn to do best.
All right, I see we have one of our friends from the spoken word in Mobile come up. Miss Margie, come on up here.
Good evening, everyone. This is my first time being here, and I just want to introduce myself. My name is Margie Stallworth. This local poet. I've been privileged to publish 2 books. I have one. My first book is Mountain Valleys and Rivers Cross, and I just finished. My second book is called Crossing Over. And the poem I want to do for you this evening is, I would call it self-descriptive. I was trying to describe myself as a poet.
Okay.
And the name of the poem ended up being my poetic name, which is Sister Mind Enricher. I've been called a poetess, prophetess, speaker of a language all have heard. See, I simply take feelings, emotions, and ideas, and I put them into words. I spin webs of metaphors, and I paint pictures with verbs and nouns. I extract the pain from our past, the joy from our present, and the hope for our future, and I give them all sound. I combine stories and lyrics. Don't forget the hysterics. I'm going to show Homer and Shakespeare a trick. Then I collage phrases, cliches, and expressions alike. If you give me just a minute, I'll blow up the mic. Baby, I throw caution to the wind, spitting abstract thoughts. I crack wood at the one that the catcher never caught. Who am I, you might ask? I'm the voice of purpose, and I was born for this task. As I put pen to paper writing down notions, let me give y'all a sample of my word potions. I'm inhaling letters, hyphens, and commas, and I'm exhaling the hearts of our papas and mamas. We're going to reach deep into the minds of that little girl, and we'll transform her oyster into a shiny pearl. Then we'll sing out loud a word song and hit an octave or two. Then I'll take the same words and describe me and you with mere words. How absurd, you might say, but hold on. Don't you dare go away. Sit on back for just a moment and try to relax while I send you a P-mail or poetic fax. Because our words are such a powerful thing. Without them, we couldn't even sing. We couldn't tell a story that touches the heart, nor could we pull our emotions and our feelings apart with our words. With words, we create and sometimes debate. I dream of words as colors dancing around in my mind, marching to the pages that I'm about to write, their way they find. Man, it's about 4 a.m. and I can't sleep because I'm lying here counting words instead of sheep. Verbs and adjectives, syllables and pronouns, a word to lift you up and a word to lay you down. Now, I don't know just what you heard, but whatever you heard, it was all just words. I claim to be no philosopher, and I claim to be no teacher, but I have been labeled as Sister Mind Reacher.
I see you. This is why I love this. This is why I love this. Excellent, excellent. So we'll go another round with poets. Poets, please prepare yourself for another round to be able to offer something to our audience. While we are waiting for that to happen, I do want to make sure that everyone knows that, of course, if you have a poem, if you have an original poem that you would like to contribute to our Living Poetry Gallery, we have these tables over here set up to the side for you to be able to write out your poem and, of course, sign it. The Living Poetry Gallery is going to be on the second floor. The Marks Library. It has been set up to receive your poems that are live and ready to live up there. The gallery has been set up and has a centerpiece which features spoken word of Mobile. And that just happens to be because I just happen to have friends spoken word of Mobile. And I'm very, very happy to have that participation. So I encourage you to come up to the second floor. Please sign in when you come in. Please sign in when you come in. Please sign in. To encourage people to take a look at the second floor, enjoy the gallery, get some of the information that's there about the spoken word of Mobile, and of course enjoy the celebration of poetry. We're going to pause for just a minute so I can get my breath back together, and we'll go ahead and start with a second round of poems. And if anyone else would like to have a poem and contribute to a poem, again, this is an open the mic night. If you have a funny story that you want to tell, this is an opportunity to be able to bring that to the table. And we will go for just a few more minutes with collecting our poems and from our poets. All right? Give me just a minute. It's funny when you get people that are trying to find a location where you are. That happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Pardon me just a second while I get my next poem up. Please be sure you help yourself to the refreshments this evening. We do have, I think, some goodies back there, and I know we have some tea and water. I think we have ice even, so please help yourself to the refreshments. Those are here for you, and we appreciate you being here again this evening. And let me see, I'm going to pull a poem up. This is a poem from my friend who could not be here tonight, our usual host poetess, Nicole Day.
Okay.
And I'm going to just do one of her little poems. She likes to do a lot of different forms of poems. She has acrostics, she has motivation poems, she has poems that are inclusive of rap and hip hop. She has a lot of different formats. So to me, she's like, I don't know if y'all know much about hip hop, but Method Man.
Yes.
To me, she's like the female Method Man. She can kind of pull stuff from just about anywhere. And so this is just a little poem of hers that I happen to like. That's included in the Spoken Word of Mobile anthology. Cultivating creativity collectively, advantageously aspiring, together teaming, hemming harmony, admired adaptation, raises support, synthesizes serenity, invertibly inspiring, salubrious catharsis by poetess Nicole Day. One of my favorites. All right, so we will start once again with asking for student voices to come forward. If there are any students who have prepared something this evening or just have a little thing that they want to tell, if it's just how your week has been, if it's just a little story you have to tell, if it's something you have prepared, I'd like to open the door for students to come first because this is a student-based event. We always like to have our students come and do something first. So let me give a moment for any student that would like to raise their hand and come forward and be a participant for open mic. Is there anyone that would like to come forward? Sarah, do you have another poem?
I do. I have it on my phone, but it's in the office.
We can wait. We can wait.
We don't get long.
We will wait.
Thank you. I'd like to say right.
All right.
Hello again. I am Saren Smith, and my major is a BFA with a concentration in animation, and this is actually from my thesis. So,
Okay.
in the embrace of February's chill, a young woman's heart feels still. Loneliness engulfs her, a heavy shroud, as the memory of her mother looms like a cloud. Confusion dances within her troubled mind, for the love she sought was hard to find. Her mother, though present in the physical realm, emotionally distant like a forgotten helm. Lonely nights spent longing for connection, searching within for answers to her reflection. Why did her mother keep her heart so closed, leaving her daughter feeling isolated and opposed? In the depths of her sorrow, she questions why. Why did her mother's love pass her by? The empty spaces within her soul echo the absence that took its toll. But as she navigates this world of strife, a spark of understanding ignites her life. She begins to see beyond the emotional wall, understanding her mother's pain above all. For in the realm of human hearts lie stories untold, shadows and parts, her mother's past a tangled web that made it hard for love to be said. Though her mother's presence is now lost, her confusion perspective is tossed. She realizes her mother too carried a weight of hurts and struggles that sealed her fate. In this newfound knowledge, she starts to see that her mother's distance was not about she, but rather a reflection of her mother's own strife, a way to protect, to guard her own life. And so she carries the love that remains in her heart where her mother's spirit sustains. Though lonely and confused, she finds her way, learning to forgive, to heal, and to sway. Her mother's absence may never be resolved, but in her heart a love is evolved. For the young woman now understands that love can transcend even from distant lands. In the depths of February's icy touch, she learns to cherish the love that means so much. Loneliness and confusion may linger near, but self-discovery brings her clarity clear. For she knows now in her own embrace, she holds the power to heal and erase the wounds of a past that left her torn. In her solitude, she is reborn. In the cold embrace of February's chill, a young woman's heart begins to fill with self-love and compassion that shines so bright, guiding her through the darkest of night.
That was worth the wait.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's why I love to get our students to come up here, because they have so many different creative voices. It gives us a lot of opportunities to see a lot of different representation opportunities. It just brings a lot to the table. It always brings me joy to see our students do what they need to do. So with that, I'm going to just do a couple of reminders here, and then we'll get back to our other poets. And I will also, again, open the floor to anyone else that might be interested in sharing a story or a poem. So for this evening, we have our sign-in table here on this side here. Please be sure that you sign in as you're walking in. We also ask for your feedback. So our events are, of course, we have several different kinds of events on our schedule. And your feedback helps us to be able to determine what we get to keep, what gets to leave, and what we get to improve. And so we like to improve every year, everything that we do. Please be sure that you sign in when you come in. And we'd like to be sure that we're offering the best possible events for you. So we'd like to get your feedback on everything that we do. So please feel free to feedback for us. There's a box there. Just drop your feedback form in, and everything is absolutely anonymous. A couple of other things. Again, our second floor will have the living poetry gallery. On these tables here are pieces of paper and pens available for you to be able to write out an original poem if you are an original poet. We would love to put your poem in our gallery to be featured this year during Jaws Fest. Of course, we'll be looking at some of those tonight. We'll go up on the second floor to be able to see that. And of course, this will be a featured part of our opening night next Thursday. And opening night for Jaws Fest is Thursday night, May 16th at 6 o'clock p.m. It is an awards ceremony for our Jaws youth and a reception on the third floor in the Rodney Gallery. It is going to be an awesome time, so I encourage you, if you can come, please come out and enjoy that. Along with that, we also have several other events that will follow under the Jaws Festival schedule. Hey. And that starts with Jazzy Lunch. We have Jazzy Lunch in this room every Wednesday from now until June 12th. And we have different musicians coming to the table to present those Jazzy Lunches. It is a bring your own lunch event. But we will be providing refreshments and hopefully some awesome music for you to enjoy. Jazz musicians that we're looking for in our community. So that will be available to you. And then we'll also have two other concerts. So our first concert, our next upcoming concert after the Excelsior Band performs, I forgot to mention. That concert next Thursday features a performance from the Excelsior Band. We have Hosea London here from the Excelsior Band tonight. Brought back to my memory. So that is a concert next Thursday night at 6 o'clock p.m. And then our next concert will be June 6th, and that will feature Thomas Jackson, a blues player out of Mississippi. He is phenomenal, and we're going to be very, very excited to have him. He'll be performing in the auditorium. And then we'll close the festival on June 20th with a concert from Andrew Ayers and Friends. That will be on Laidlaw Performing Arts Center. It's going to be a fantastic time. We'll be closing our festival, so we invite all of our attendees, everyone that's interested in supporting Jazz Fest to come out and celebrate as we close the festival. So those are our upcoming events. And with that, I want to make sure to thank you all for your time, and again remind you that we have refreshments in the back. Please feel free to enjoy those. And if you have not received a feedback form, you will be able to get that. With that, I will step away from the mic for just a second and ask some of our original ask for some of our original poets to come to the stage. Brother Junior, do you have another poem that you'd like to share with our group? All right, let's welcome Junior back up to the microphone.
Good evening once again. For every ending, there's a begin. Genesis on fire with the rise of those indigenous folks. Once again, I can see it all in their eyes. Divine warriors, Imhotep, Geronimo, Shaka, Black pharaohs from ancient times, indigenous folks of many faces. It is about that hour for our peoples to shine. Light on endangered species, white decorative young black males. This may be the harm. It seems like a lot of our young brothers are afraid to exercise their right to be informed. Of NoCheatersDay.com for the greatest love that has ever touched this planet. Black Self Put to Sleep by Willie Lynch. Gas to erase over 400 years of damage that was done to the brain, ran amok, misplaced, intentionally led astray. However, our ancestors laid some tracks while spiritually, mentally preparing. For a nation of Nat Turners, Marcus Garveys, Malcolms, and Dr. Kings, Sankofa, now peoples, I can hear your body's calling. For unity said loud, I'm black and I'm proud of a strong, ancient, blessed race who is still dealing with this foolishness with the Prince of Peace written all over their face. Now equal sidestepping Independence Day, happy Passover, young peoples and God bodies, while these young peoples are waking up. And if you're down, we'll steady on later on this evening. But now, back to the street OG's lost ghetto love story of how we all come together on one accord, showing the strength of God's grace and glory. Well, my mother's actually showed me that peace and happiness is some crazy arithmetic, while they really multiply themselves when you actually start to divide them. And subtracting hate of your race, language is used to express a thought, like love thy neighbor as thyself. Now that is the greatest challenge. For every beginning, there is an end. Little, no more are white lies. And revelation at last, it's time to take a stage from the past to protect these melanated women, for they're the reason for all of our lives. Thank you.
I love when you do that poem, Junior. That's one of my favorites. It's usually done with so much fire. I absolutely love that poem. All right. Before we bring Margie back up, does anyone else have a poem, story, or thing they'd like to share? Ron? All right, come on up. Let's welcome him.
Okay, well, I really wasn't prepared for this at all. So, but I'm really caught in the spirit of this and want to participate. So what I'm going to do here is I wrote a song, and I just sat there and jotted down the lyrics of the song I wrote, because it's more difficult to recite a song as a poem rather than sing it. So we'll put this in the category of lyric poetry. And this is a love song, but not so much for a person per se, as for nature. And as nervous as I am, I'm going to go ahead and give it a go here. The song, or in this case, the poem, is called Onward Shall I Go. My thoughts drift in a breeze, like butterflies they gather round you, for you are the fairest of all. Spirit among the trees, with a host of singing angels round you, I surrender to your siren call. Songs of ancient dreams echo across distant canyons, where eternal rivers ebb and flow. Crossing timeless streams, songbirds my only companions, I hear your voice everywhere I go. Beside the firelight glow, I see shadows dancing round me, whirling, swirling, swaying through the night. Beneath the moonlight glow, the forest and the hills surround me, until the golden dawn of morning light. Silently I tread over mountains, hills, and valleys, a nomad wandering evermore, following a thread, winding me through canyon alleys. I am cast adrift, seeking shore. A vision of your grace, I see colors dancing round me, across the canvas of your sky, the brilliance of your face. Though I sought you, yet you found me, stranded like a hawk that cannot fly. Wildflowers and trees thrive beside your crystal waters. You wear a garland for a crown. Hummingbirds and bees gather all your fruits of nectar until the twilight of sundown. Onward shall I go. By your wisdom, truth will guide me to the sacred place where I belong. Destiny must flow, and the tides of time subside me, until all that remains is my song.
That was awesome for impromptu. That was really, really good, Ron. Really good. That was awesome for impromptu. That was fantastic. And you would think it was just, sometimes it just takes that. And that just, it's a little bit of inspiration, so fantastic. All right, so we'll go ahead and have Miss Margie Stallworth come back up. Miss Margie, let's welcome her.
Good evening again, everyone. This poem is called Come Swim With Me. There is a river of creativity that flows from heart to heart, spirit to spirit. Don't just wet your feet, dive off in it. There's a sound the soul makes, a frequency it takes to find spiritual footprints in the sands of time. There's a calling without measure to obtain this hidden treasure of the heart. There's a moaning and a groaning in the spirit that plays a major part. These ideas that I render, no reality can hinder. For the unseen things are more real than what we see. This night of unicorns and fairies dancing in my dreams while I'm actually awake. How much more can my imagination take? I'm so glad I've gotten to a place where I'm so comfortable in my skin. That's the place God pulls his treasure from within.
Anyone else? Really have to step out for just a second. What's that? Sure. Thank you.
Okay, I'll give you one. Okay. This poem is called Healing for You. It's very personal because in a past relationship I was dealing with domestic violence and going through my healing process. Part of my healing process was my writing, and I ended up writing this poem called Healing for You. I know you've been hurt in more ways than one. You've been made to feel small for what others have done, to take away one's self-respect and leave them feeling such neglect. Some scars are visible, they can be seen, but others are deep and dark and mean. Scars to the spirit, emotions, and soul that leave you feeling less than whole. Blackened eyes and busted lips, broken arms and fractured hips. Physical trauma will heal with time, but emotional trauma still tortures the mind. But there is a healing in God's wings. Yes, there's restoration for everything. Don't let the bitter words that someone said when you were 2 make you feel bad today or think less of you. You are a warrior with battle scars to prove it. You stood before the mountain and watched your faith move it.
Thank you, Margie. She's just awesome, y'all. Just awesome. Poetess, what is it? Sister Mind Reacher? Amen. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, so do we have anyone else that'd like to come to the stage this evening? Any other poets, poems, stories? And we got a funny jazz tune they want to hum?
I have a funny story.
Got a funny story?
Funny note.
Okay, let's let Gail bring a funny note. Come on, Gail.
Gail.
Thank you. So this is a story from my family that goes back from when my older daughter was about 4 years old, and she's now a mother of 4 and in her late 30s. So it's, been around our family for quite a little while. But my best friend came to visit me and my family when my daughter was about 4. And back in the day, we were watching the Phil Donahue show. So I'm showing my age. And if you remember, Phil Donahue often had kind of 2 sides of the coin for his guests. And it just so happened on the episode that we were watching, it was about Barbie. So they had Barbie enthusiasts who would go to Barbie conventions and dress up like their Barbie dolls. And then on the other side, they had the anti-Barbie contingent that said if you gave your daughter a Barbie, she was going to have body dysmorphia and want to look like Barbie and the whole thing. Well, of course, my 4-year-old daughter brought her Barbies out into the living room and started playing with them, on the living room floor. So my friend Meg and I said, let's test this theory. And we said, Emily, take a look at your Barbie dolls. Is there anything about that Barbie doll that you like or would like to look like? And she kind of looked at it for a minute and she said, well, I'd like to have long blonde hair like Barbie. And we said, okay, that's nice. And she was blonde as a little girl. But what about her body? Is there anything about her body that strikes you? And she looked at Barbie for a couple minutes and she says, well, I wouldn't want my hands to be stuck together like that.
Absolutely. That's great, Gail. Thank you so much. That's awesome. All right, so this is the platform for those types of things. We want to make sure to give everybody an opportunity. Does anyone else need to wave their hand or flag me down? That'd be a missing opportunity to let someone share. All right, so with that, we will kind of wrap things up this evening. Now, this is my favorite part. So I'm very, very happy to be a host, co-host, creator, whatever it takes. But my favorite part is to really give back to the community and give things away. So we're going to do a giveaway very quickly. I'm going to have Gail come up. And we have everybody's name in a hat. And let me see. I think I'd like to have Ron come on. Ron, come on up. And let you pick out of the bag and let her shake the bag up.
We have 3 Good goodie bags.
We have 3 goodie bags to give away tonight.
Sure, not the least of the poets coming.
Thank you. For Aubrey Moran. Thank you for being here.
Ron, like you ran away. We got 2
You
more.
ran away.
2 more days to go.
Hey, it's nice. So he's back on course. Modeling course.
Karina, I knew this was going to happen. She laughed. Karina Harrow. So, going once, going twice.
Want me to give it to her?
If you could give that to her.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right.
One more.
Karina, and we have one more. Thank you, sir. Junior Winston.
Hey.
All right. So I want to make sure to thank everyone for coming out tonight to our first Jazz Stories and Poetry. This was fun, right? We have a good time. It's a little bit different platform. We try to make sure to celebrate this connection between jazz and poetry, so we have a little bit of ambiance, a little bit of opportunity for people to come and share the things that are on their mind, on their heart that they need to do. Our next Jazz Stories and Poetry will be May 21st at 6 o'clock. So we've already had our first one. We'll be having our second one. May 21st, this room, 6 o'clock p.m. All right? So please make sure that you join us for then. Of course, you're also welcome to join us on any of the Jaws Festival websites, the Jaws Festival events, and be sure to visit our website. Oh, Gail, you're letting me fall down on the job. Which is that we have just a few more days for people to vote on the Jaws Youth Exhibit. The Jaws Youth Exhibit is one of our largest community efforts here in the city of Mobile for the Jazz Art Writers South Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, this year we have 219 pieces created by children under the age of 18. And they're hanging in a gallery on the 3rd floor of this building. And they're available to vote on now. So they will be awarded on their awards on May 16th. That's what May 16th is all about. So please feel free to visit our website, jawsfestival.com, so you can vote on those amazing artworks created by under 18-year-olds. We'll be giving away 3 awards, one for Best Creative Expression, one for Best Jazz-Themed Work, and one for Best of Show. And so we need everyone's effort to help us make those decisions. We want to make sure that word gets spread far and wide. So you can go onto our website right now and do that voting, and we encourage you to participate in that.
And pictures of them.
All the pictures of the entire gallery are on our website. That's why we built the website this year, Gail. That's why we built the website this year. Yes, Mary? Okay. You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
You don't mind if I hand this to the Queen?
You may do what you will. It's your prize. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much. Again, want to be sure to thank all of our poets and everyone that came out this evening. This is usually how it works, right? We usually are not sure how things are going to start. We always fill up the time. It's always a fantastic time. Our next session, again, May 21st, this room, 6 o'clock p.m. Please feel free to look at the website to vote on the Jaws Youth, and all of our concert event information is there as well. So thank you so very, very much. We'll adjourn from here shortly and go to the 2nd floor to hang any poems that have been contributed for living poetry. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.